is I've got like YouTube should see that say that we're live right now. And yeah, it's really weird because like my volume is I don't know, it's like in the green. I'm pretty sure if I listened to it, I would probably sound a little bit quiet. And then like whenever I bring it up again, I'm doing that right now, so I'm probably coming in a little bit louder, but it's like it's sneaking me back down. It's like, yeah, no, I don't like you this loud. I'm gonna bring you down. And
All
I
right, let me check.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you wanna I don't know if you wanna do that, but hey everyone. Spidey Librarian here, and we're having a slight technical difficulty issue. My volume keeps like sneaking down, and I'm trying to figure out why. And it's just kind of one of those things we've been kind of tussling with for the last 20 minutes or so. So that's where we're off
So
to a slightly late start. All right, go ahead.
hey everybody. Sorry to interrupt you, Spidey. I am the Mesozoic Mind. I am very happy to join Spidey here, and we will be discussing this. But yeah. Yeah, I can kind of hear you, but it's like I think it's also like it could be also the call kind of making it hard for me to hear you as well. But I can kind of hear you. You're kind of going up and down, which sucks. Have you tried maybe like I don't
Okay.
know, just grabbing the volume and like grabbing your mouse and just holding onto the volume bar and just holding it in place.
No, that doesn't work, and it's an impractical solution, anyways. But here's
Mm.
I think I know one thing I'm gonna do. I'm not wearing headphones, and I'm watching when you talk. I know the microphone is getting feedback, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put on ye old headphones and do things the way that I normally do them. So that could be one way to solve this. So give me just a
Okay.
second.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So there we go. And it looks like all right. Go ahead and speak. I want to make sure I can hear you.
Hello. Do you hear
Hey,
me?
there we go. I can hear you good. And it looks like I don't know. I think I'm still sneaking down, but I think I can probably equalize our sound by bringing your gain down. I don't know. We'll have to see, but I don't know. It's
So, so ho-
sound is always a
hopefully this
thing.
won't be. So hopefully this won't be a major issue.
I mean, we're just going to do our best and hopefully it won't be.
Yeah.
So, all right.
All right.
Anyways, but I can hear you through the headphones. Hopefully you can hear me still. And we're going to
Oh,
go
I can
ahead.
definitely hear you.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hey, everyone. Spidey Librarian here. And welcome. We are going to go ahead and do a discussion for Gendy Tartakovsky's Primal. I've got the Mesozoic Mind here with me, and we are going to be discussing season 2 of this show. And I mentioned earlier we may be having some slight audio issues. I'm still trying to figure out why it behaves the way it does, but at least for now, I think I've got our volumes equalized. So hopefully in post I can just figure out a way to bring it up without distorting the quality too much. So, anyways, um, Mesozoic. First of all, I want to kind of talk with you about the show in general and just kind of like you were the one that suggested this show, and you have we've had several discussions about this topic in general, but kind of paleo media, that seems to be like kind of your thing. And
Oh,
so
definitely.
I'm just curious, like how did you how did you discover this show, and what was your overall impression of season 2?
I was like a kid. This was back when Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I think, just came out. I think it was like 2018 or 2019. I was sitting in bed. I was watching TV. I was still like, I think I was like 12 or 11 at the time, and I was flipping through channels. I was kind of bored, and then I saw, Adult Swim was just coming on. I was like, all right, I'll just watch this, see if there's any episodes of Family Guy or American Dad or whatever. See
Like
if
you
I'll
do
laugh.
with Adult Swim. Yeah, no.
Yeah, yeah. See if there's anything good. And then the teaser for Primal happens, and I'm like, okay, this looks awesome because like it's obvious I love dinosaurs. I love Jurassic Park. I love Godzilla. I love anything that's dinosaur prehistoric related. Like I eat that stuff up good. So this obviously just looked like something I was desperate to watch. And yeah, I fell in love with it quickly. I love the gore, I love the characters, I love the story, I love the animation, I love the creatures. It was pretty much everything I wanted for a show that wasn't like, oh, Barney or something made for little kids. No, it was an adult show with dinosaurs, and I absolutely loved it.
I mean,
So
the ultra violence is definitely like I don't think of myself as a violent person, but you know, like the dinosaurs chomping off people's heads and stuff. It's like, you know, at least in context, this is I can get behind this, you know.
yeah, it's awesome. So obviously, I'm loving the show, and then there was the whole year gap, which was painful, and then and then we eventually got to the season one finale, and of course we were all once again disappointed, like, oh, can't leave us there again, like, come on. But it wasn't like a midway through season like earlier. This was pretty much the ending of season one, and we were gonna get season
Right.
two, and we were all very excited for season two. I was excited. Everyone else was pretty excited. And yeah, I remember it took me a while to actually watch the show because I had to go stay at another house for a little bit to watch it. And yeah, and I really loved it. I loved the story. I loved the characters, and I did fell in love with the show. But as time went on, and like, don't get me wrong, this is still a great season. I do think season one is probably just a smidge better overall, just by a few things. But we'll get to those. But yeah, I absolutely love the show, and I love both seasons altogether.
It's it's interesting because season 1, the final episode of season 1 kind of kicks off what it becomes pretty much the entire arc of season 2. We meet Mira in that final episode. She gets captured, and so season 2 basically becomes about, you know, Spear and Fang going rescuing her, and then them trying to, you know, trying to leave the place where she's been imprisoned. And I mean, that just comes with all manner of, you know, misadventures and stuff that happens to this group of our heroes essentially. And this, I mean, like, you could say that the first season is very much kind of an anthology of just misadventures between these two. And then, like, season 2 has kind of an arc to it, you know, whereas like season 1 was just kind of a bunch of like pictures of this environment, this world that these two are a part of. And so I thought that was an interesting take on it, but we've also got a couple of episodes that really kind of throw things even further sideways. And you know, like you know, we obviously
Yeah,
there's the mid-season episode 5, that one, which takes place like in the 1800s or something like that. And then obviously there's the finale as well, which I won't get into too much right now, but like I remember watching that episode, the mid-season episode, and I'm like, what is this? And then I was like, okay, all right, I'm here for it. um but like, talk about taking you away from the narrative, you know, like the original narrative. What did you
yeah.
think, what did you think of that episode, by the way?
Oh, I love it. I think it's a great episode. I really love how, like, this is what like the theme of like inner instincts of survival I talked about in the previous stream we talked when we did Primal season one.
Uh-huh.
It was basically the topic of like primal instincts and survival. And this episode really shows that. Like, it really shows the idea of inside of every person there's a wild animal that's just desperate to survive.
Right.
And
Yes.
and I and I really love how this episode really shows that with these characters. Like, yeah, it's kind of like out of nowhere, like it is definitely away from Spear and Fang's story,
Yes.
and you could argue, and like and it's pretty wild, but it definitely is still a great episode. It has like really like funny, like the ending is phenomenal. Let's be honest, it's the best part of the whole episode.
Yeah, like and I mean again, for those of you that don't know, for these media discussions, we do spoilers. So
Yes,
if you don't want to be spoiled, this is your chance to get off the live stream, because
yes. Do
we're about
not
to,
harass this man.
yeah. Um, but really, I mean, like, I laughed my ass off by
Oh
the
yeah,
time, but when that episode ended, because it was like, I told you so, like they go through this violent
it's like
experience, and then I like they've been discussing this point of, like, there is that wild animal, you'll do anything to survive, you'll become violent, and then at the end, after they've been through this really violent thing, this dude who's escaped from, like, I don't know, a mental asylum or something, and it basically was Spear, essentially, like, it wasn't,
yeah.
but
Well, at
it
least
was, and then, like,
yeah,
when they finally take him down and everything, the guy's like, "See," and he's just pointing. I told you so, and I saw the joke coming. I saw the punchline coming, and I that did not lessen the joke for me. I was like, "Okay, yeah, no, I see where this is going, and it's really funny." So,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
but I mean, we have an arc during this season, which is basically find Mira, rescue Mira, and then get the hell off of this continent or whatever it is, and try to find a new home, essentially. And I'm being very clean about that, but man, there are some there are some what do you want to call them? There are some tangents along the way. I think,
yeah.
I
Some
mean,
misadventure, some
mm-hmm,
conflict.
they get, like, Spear and Fang get separated, and Fang finds a new friend, new mate, really,
Friend, yes,
and
yes, and they get
and
drunk.
they do, and we don't find out until a few episodes later. Fang becomes pregnant. And then while that's happening, Spear has befriended, like he's been found by this village of men. Like, I'm assuming, like, whereas Spear is, like, I don't know, I'm terrible at differentiating species here, but, like, where he's, like, I don't know, a Cro-Magnon, or some form of proto man. These are, like, early Homo sapiens, essentially. And so, like, but they recognize him ultimately as being part of them, and so they take him in and they try to befriend him, and it's going well for a little while until Fang and her mate start attacking, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and
And th-
like even the villagers were like, even the villagers were like, you don't have to go, and he's like, nah, I've caused too much damage. I gotta go.
and that's my friend. I can't abandon her, So,
Yeah,
no. And I guess, I guess at that point it leads up into episode 4, which, dear God, the
yeah, yeah.
violence. I
The vi-
was I was astounded. What were you thinking the first time you watched that episode?
So it was kind of like the ape episode, but from season one, where I like how it starts off pretty chill, pretty
Hmm.
calm, like nothing super major is happening. We kind of learn that Spear realizes there's other people, there's other humans around them, and
Right.
it's like, oh my god, there's other humans, man, I should honor them. And then shit hits the fan. You got Vikings riding prehistoric bears called cave bears, and you got them fighting each other. You got a T Rex fighting a grizzly bear, which is awesome, or a cave bear,
Yes.
and
That was pretty
and then
cool.
they realize, yeah, and then Spear finds out that these Vikings are the same people that took Mira, the Scorpion clan or something. It's like, oh shit, like, oh my god, these are the people. I got to get them. And then he like he interrogates one of them, but of course he doesn't really say anything. They just kill him. So I don't even know how they find out village. I think they just try to like maybe they follow the footprints or
I
something.
mean, yeah, they're hunters. Just kind of let
Yeah.
them kind of just go with it on that front. But yeah, like and again, like I mean, like you had like kids from the village getting involved in the fight.
Yeah.
You had like, and I mean like these Vikings basically, um, they were taking people, they were imprisoning them, and then I assume, like, I don't think it's ever said what they do with them, but like, you could assume they were either putting them to work or they were selling them to the, people like that Egyptian queen person from the Colossus arc, who we'll
The
talk about.
bitch.
Yeah, we'll talk about her eventually. But like,
Yeah.
it was like, okay, these are not necessarily good people. And like they, of course they were defending, of course, what they thought was theirs. And Spear and Fang were like, mm-mm, nope, you do not get to attack us. We're taking these people, we're freeing them. And then Mira got involved in the fight too. And that was like, I was pretty surprised, pleasantly so, at how good like how resourceful she is, and how she adds an element of value to a pitched battle that you might not expect at first. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But I mean, like, she's the one that is like, okay, I'm gonna grab the bow and arrow, I'm gonna get a distance away, and I'm gonna start picking people off for our side, basically. But I mean, like, kids get involved. Fang took out like a bunch of bears.
Yeah, she just destroyed them. She demolished them. She just
Yeah. And,
just
and like, they're both like, I mean, they both get severely injured. Like, they've both got arrows sticking out of them, and they are still fighting. And like, it's like adrenaline, basically. They're just so amped up that it's just like, you know what, if you're in my way, I'm gonna kill you. And that's kind of
yeah.
how it got. I was i mean i was just not prepared for how vicious, like, they killed the whole village. And of course, this sets up the chieftain and his son finding the village and swearing revenge and going after them later. But like just in and of itself, that episode, I was just like, I've seen violence in this show. I have not seen that level of sustained violence in this show
Yeah.
ever, and it really kind of floored me. I wasn't prepared for it. Were you when you saw it?
I mean, yeah. I
Or
like I at this point at this
you're
point I was kind of more like you know what? I'm not shocked. Like something like Invincible where like got like really disturbing and shocking, like the whole train incident and taking out
Oh
Guardians of the Globe. This one, like, I'm not
God,
saying,
yeah.
like I'm not saying this one isn't badass, but or gross or disgusting. It's more like, like I've seen more shocking stuff.
I mean, yeah, I get that, and I have as well. But I guess where I was surprised was that, like, they literally left no survivors. Like, they were just like, mm-mm. Even the kids who, again, were participating in the fight. I mean, there was the boy who kept shooting Spear with arrows, and I was like, kid, you need to stop, or you're gonna get your head caved in. And I think that is what happened to him, essentially.
I mean, yeah, he did get his rock. He did get like hit in the face. He did like get his head land on a rock, which I do want to talk about Spear, like really trying to avoid killing the kid. I really feel like,
He was he was
excuse me.
he was pissed at that kid, but like he wasn't trying. He was trying to maybe like disable the kid. He wasn't trying to kill him though,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he had a moment where he's like, "Oh my god, I didn't want this," you know. And yeah,
I just, I
that
just.
was
Oops,
go
sorry.
go no serious go on.
So I was just gonna say, I just really feel like that really just fits with his, well, especially with everything that happened to him in the first season. Like he lost his whole family, like his
Yes, he
wife, his
did.
children, and it's just tragic. And
Yeah.
he really is just not wanting to kill kids unless he needs to. But even then, he is just so hesitant. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, I don't want to kill kids.
Well, and
Like I've lost
and
my kids.
I would say remorseful after the fact too, where he's like, yeah, no, I didn't want to do this. What the hell, you know? Um, but yeah, like he doesn't want to do it, but then you get caught up in the heat of battle, and anything can happen. And if this kid is putting himself in the situation, shite
You kind of
happens,
had
you
to.
know? Yeah, yeah. Um, and then then we had the episode. Then we had the snooty scientist, the snooty historians discussion episode, as I
Which
like
was
to
really
call it.
good.
Uh, that episode, I mean, again, I know we discussed it a little earlier, but like I was so I was there for it. First of all, I definitely needed a break after episode 4. I was just like, yeah, no, wow. But yeah, Primal Theory was just hilarious. Like it's intense. You've got people coming in and you have the escaped lunatic who's in the mansion who it becomes an immediate case study on what they're talking about in theory. And you know, I don't remember the scientists' names, but or the historians' names, but the one who was like, no, we would never do that, and he it turns out that he was like a boxing champion, and he's
And
able to like go one on one with the dude for a little while, and they eventually take him down, but it takes great violence to do so. And I was just like, I'm watching it the whole time, and I'm like, this is the dude who is ridiculing the one telling
like
him,
Charles.
yeah, he was the one ridiculing him for saying, yeah, your instincts will take over and you'll become an animal. And yet here he is doing exactly that. And so I saw the joke coming, but I was just like, this is immediately compelling because this savage guy is obviously supposed to be Spear, even though it obviously can't be. But I was just like, I'm watching it with kind of two. I've got two minds while I'm watching it. I'm like, oh god, this is good, and then the other part of me is going, I see the point, and I see a punchline. I see a potential punchline. Um, when you were watching that episode, like, did you have that kind of duality of like of I don't know, did you experience it quite the way I did? Was it just kind of like one thing at a time?
I don't remember how I felt. I remember liking the episode a while ago when I
Huh?
first saw it. I just don't remember like what I was expecting. It was like a while ago. I just remember really enjoying it, really having good times. Remember just watching a really cool horror episode where just this insane lunatic who acts and looks like Spear is just killing these fancy rich not snoop peoples or whatever,
Yeah,
and it's entertaining. And like
so
I don't
entertaining.
remember, yeah, and I don't remember how I reacted at the end, but I think I remember liking it. I think I remember laughing. I just don't like I said. This was like a while ago. This is like back in
Yeah.
2019, so I don't remember a lot.
Well, I mean, were you there when I watched it? Were you watching it along
Oh
with
yeah,
me? Okay, all
oh
right.
yeah, definitely. I was,
Okay.
and I did laugh. I was just like back in
But
2019 when it
you'd
came out. I
you'd
just
seen
remember
it
how.
at that point. So you were like, "Ah, okay, I
Yeah,
remember this part." Yeah. No, no, fun episode, and I really enjoyed it for what it was. Uh then we get to episode 6, Vidar. And it, it I eventually figured out Vidar basically means revenge. And we have like I think the chieftain and his son showed up at the end of episode 4, and they had brought home like a fresh batch of prisoners, and they see that their village has basically been destroyed. Everyone in it's been slaughtered. His wife and his other son are dead. No one has survived. And I think they did something. I think that was at the end of episode 4, or it was during 6. I can't quite remember. But basically they let those prisoners go. And I was like, wow. They're like, we've got bigger fish to fry, you know? And it really sets up like this the chieftain especially as a nemesis for the end of the season. Like this is going to be his big bad, Spears' big bad, I guess, more than anything else, because Spears is the one he's going to see as ultimately responsible, you know. And um Vidar is just an episode of like these two trying to take revenge and failing, which really surprised me.
Pretty much.
Because like I and of course this is just because I'm dumb, but like I was like I thought this guy was going to be around until the end of the season, and now he's dead. And then he's dead, of course, but then it turns out he basically goes to the devil and is like, I want revenge. And the devil's like, I will give you revenge. You have to serve me, though. And he's like, I'll take it. And I was, like, I was just kind of like, all right, cool. But I still didn't see it coming until we get to the finale,
So I do want to talk about that during the
Okay.
finale. So because I don't say I'm mixed. I'm just like well, I do want to discuss it later.
Oh,
But
absolutely. Oh yeah, no, I think we definitely need to discuss that.
yeah, the finale is definitely something we need to talk about. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the episode. The episode next that really I really love the three parter Colossalis or whatever it's called. It's a really good part freer, and honestly, I feel like I would prefer if it just ended right there for the season, right? Like for the like part three. I thought
Okay, all right.
like yeah, because
I
like
imagine you have feelings about the finale. That
it's like we'll get to the finale. We'll get to the
okay,
finale.
okay. The Colossus. I mean, like, again, you watched this with me, so like, I watched the
I
like
sadly miss.
I'm watching
I
these
sadly miss.
in. Go on, go on.
Sorry, I was about to say I sadly missed part three.
Oh yeah, that's true. You did.
Yeah.
But I'm watching these in like I watched them 2 episodes at a time, simply because that's just how I've decided to approach this. And so I knew I was getting into a 3-part arc, and I knew we were going to get the first 2 parts, and then I was going to be like, oh God, I'm going to just really be hanging on this cliff here. And and that definitely happened, but like that arc introduced another villain that oh God, like I wanted to snap
I wanted
that
to steal.
woman's neck
I wanted to
so
steal her
badly.
liver. I wanted to steal her liver so
Yeah,
badly.
like she's this queen. She's the queen wench, as I call her, I think. She's a mother shocking wench. And like her big tactic is she finds she finds what is valuable to someone who she wants to enslave, and then she takes it hostage, just like she did with Fang's eggs, to get Fang, Mira, and Spear to just kind of like cease and desist. And like she's got this self-satisfied, like, I'm so much smarter than everyone else. Like, and she's just someone that it's like, oh, I hate you, you privileged little wench.
No,
And
no, she needed to die begging for her life. That's
yeah,
exactly how she should have died. Yeah,
yeah.
well, I can probably not talk because I know she couldn't talk, but like she should have just like back up with like horror and fear in her eye. That should have how she should have died. But her like smashing through the roof was also pretty good.
It was great. I loved it. I was like,
Yeah.
and I remember you were talking in the chat during this, and I was like down on Kamal because he was, he was beating the crap out of Spear, and like they
Yeah.
they were trying to capture him and everything, and I'm like, I hate this guy, and everything, and you're like, you're gonna feel so bad. and and you were right.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay, all right. So the queen's holding his daughter hostage, so I hate the queen even more. And man, I was just like, I was just like, she goes from place to place, from nation to nation, and she just is like plundering them and taking slaves and resources and everything, even when they don't offer resistance. Like, she made Kamal start killing these people, and it was just like, you shocking wench. I'm very much censoring myself here, but like,
Yeah.
I was just like, leave. If they're going to just give you their food, take the food and just walk away. And no, she doesn't want to do that. She's like, no, I'm proving a point that I am better
I
than
want
everyone
power.
else. Yeah. And no, it was like, you know they did a really good job of establishing a villain that you just loved to shocking hate. Like like you said, I don't just want to steal this woman's liver. I want to force feed her liver. You know,
Jesus.
like,
Jesus, Spidey. Oh
wait,
my God.
well, you saw how she was.
I
If
know,
you
but
if you
like,
are
God.
if you are
I didn't
willing
think it would be that violent.
if
I didn't
you
think
are
it's that
willing
violent.
to take someone's child and kill them to make them work for you, then I think you deserve to get force fed your own liver. Yes, I do. I will
Yeah,
I will
fair.
say
Yeah,
it,
I mean, yeah, fair. It's just Jesus. I didn't think you would
I
go to that. I just
I
didn't
am
think you had
not.
it in ya.
Yeah, I'm not a violent person. However, I have two buttons. One of them is children, okay? Like, you do not shock with children, okay? You don't touch them, you leave them alone, you know. The other one, animals. Like, animal
Yes.
cruelty, just like, I
Like,
start I start seeing red. I start seeing red.
yeah,
And so
yeah, and
this
like,
this this
oh,
woman clearly had none of those boundaries. And I was just like, nope, nope, I want you dead, and I want you dead in a very gruesome way. you know.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
and like basically, I am with all animals, but like the two main ones that like if I see will get hurt in any way by a human being, I will just lose my mind.
yeah.
And that is dogs and seals. Those are like the two main animals that if I see get remotely hurt, I'm out for blood.
Yeah.
I am going to kill because I mean cats too, but like I just objectively think that seals and dogs are better.
I mean, this is America. You're allowed to be wrong. It's all good. No, but
Hey,
uh, I'm just playing with you. I'm a cat person. I mean, obviously, I got trouble, so she's my she's my kitty, and I love her and everything. And I've always been a cat person. But with that said, though, I'm also the type of person, like, if I see a dog in a movie, particularly a horror movie, I'm gonna be like, oh crap, are they gonna kill the dog? Don't kill the dog. I don't want any animals to get killed, really. But like, like dogs, everybody likes dogs. Dogs are,
yeah,
dogs are good. And they are inherently portrayed in the media as man's best friend. I mean, they just are. Cats don't have that distinction, and that's fine. But like, it in horror, like, one way you can tell how vicious a horror movie is how they treat kids and how they treat animals. And when I watched Evil Dead Rise, I don't know if you've seen that movie. I just watched it this month.
I
And
have not.
let me tell you something. I was like, oh, this is a vicious movie, because uh, I'm not gonna spoil it, but let's just say, um, like the 2013 Evil Dead reboot, the this one is going for your throat in a big way, you know, and
I've
it does not pull punches. So,
I won't. So I've definitely seen my share. Well, I've seen and read my fair share of violence.
mm-hmm.
Example, and I know this is a franchise I keep bringing up. I'm sorry, but
Go
it's
ahead.
it's the original Jurassic Park
Oh
novel by
yeah.
Michael Crichton.
Oh, the novel.
I
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so the very original novel by Michael Crichton, and it's much darker than the original movie. It is so much darker.
I mean, like like how so?
There's a scene, so like Dennis Nedry in the movie, he gets a kind of a comedical death. Like let's be honest, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And well, in the book, the Dilophosaurus, it spills his guts out
Okay.
and devours him slowly to death as he begs for mercy of the sweet release of death.
All right.
And there's also a scene with a baby where he's devoured by little compies.
Oh dear God, are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious.
Oh
There is a
man.
scene where a baby is just devoured alive and just dead.
Okay. All right. I don't need to know anymore.
Yeah, yeah, that
That's
gets
enough.
violent.
You've made your point. It's dark. I get it. But I mean, again, like, it's one of those things like in my personal opinion, if you're going to go there, you're basically establishing that whatever character or whatever creature is doing it is beyond redemption. Is is hopefully going to get a gruesome death, you know? And again, the
Yeah.
queen, oh God, like when
Ugh.
in the final episode of that arc, when Kamal basically picks her up and throws her overboard and she crashes through into the little ferry that Mira, Spear, and Fang were in, and her body is just all mangled and broken. I'm like, needs more
Yeah.
violence. Needs more violence. You know?
Yes, needs more violence. Needs That's not good enough. We need more.
I mean,
Enter
that.
Adam Driver from Enter Adam Driver from Star Wars going.
Yeah, yeah, no. Like at that point, I was like, okay, all right, that's a start. All right, Fang, do you need to go to the bathroom? You know, like, I mean,
Nice.
I was just like, how can we further humiliate this horrible, horrible person? Who was already dead, but um, and I don't know. I was happy with the way that ended. Clearly, they were on the Colossus for like anywhere from 12 to 18 months. Like they used the kitten or the cat
Like,
that she had taken from that
let's
one ruler to kind of show the passage of time, I guess,
I mean, it's possible that it has been that long, but you could also just say, like it's just animation logic. It's not non-fictional. It's fantasy
Yeah,
logic. Like that
yeah.
thing probably grew larger, so it probably wasn't that long. It probably could have just been a few months at least.
No, I don't
It's
know,
like
but
we don't know.
I'm
You
just
know?
gonna I guess for my own head canon, I'm gonna assume they were captive and made to service this evil queen for anywhere from like 1 to 3 years, basically. Like I feel like that's probably a realistic time frame for the amount of time they spent on there without them aging too much.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, like you had the baby dinos, and who knows how long it takes a baby dino egg to gestate. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Um,
Who knows?
then but then they get away, they get their freedom, and we get to the final episode, Echoes of Eternity.
This is was a very controversial episode, and
Hey,
for a
you
few
know,
reasons.
yeah, and before you get into them, I just want to say, like, the controversy comes like in the last like 5 minutes or something. Like it's
Yeah.
very like it comes on very suddenly, and I get why they designed it that way, but I also was like, because I'm watching it and you had told me, you're like, this one had been pretty divisive among fans of the series, and I'm like, okay, where's the division coming? Where's it at? Where's it at? And then the ending
And then
happens,
it
and I'm like,
happened.
oh, okay, I see why some people will. I see why some people would have real issues with this, and then I see another part of the fan base going, "Shock, yeah," you know. But yeah, like
So yeah.
so please
Sorry.
take it away, take it away.
So I have a friend on Twitter. I won't say who they are. They probably want to remain private. But they used to love Primal before that scene happened. The possible word, but I won't say it because I don't want to get this demonetized. But um, I he loved this. They loved this show, and then basically that's what happened. So like, nope, I never want to. I hate the show now because of that. This show is ruined because of me, and like that was essentially it for everyone. It wasn't even like just Spear dying. It was like literally what happened was people pretty much believe what happened was a certain philia happened, and they just found it very disturbing and disgusting and gross, and they completely
That's
threw them off.
that's not okay, but that certain philia that you're talking about is not what happened though. He wasn't
Yeah,
dead. He
but
was he
he
was
was
dying,
dying.
but he
He
wasn't
was
dead,
dying.
you know.
Yes, but it's like he's still a corpse. He's dying. He can barely understand what's happening, except he wants to,
No,
have take a chow wow with Mira.
I understand. Like you could I suppose you could make the case that what Mira did to Spear is an R word. Like,
But yeah, but like you
but
can clearly tell Spear wants to as well.
well, I mean, yeah, and I think that's partially like what makes this so controversial is because okay, like let first of all, let's get into the chain of events that brings us to this point, because clearly we have uh we have found Mira's village. And so she is basically kind of reintegrating with her village. She's happy to be back. Spear and Fang are there, and they're like, they are treated politely once it's established who they are to her and everything. But there's very clearly like a tension going on here. And I think at this point, Spear is wondering, who am I going to be? Am I gonna stick with my dino buddy here who probably can't live among humans for very long without becoming some kind of a threat to them, or am I am I going to stay with Mira and this village and leave them, leave Fang and her dino children behind? And like, and at least that I mean, that's how I interpreted his, all the somber
Yeah.
silent parts and everything. And so he's trying to figure out who he's going to be, and then while he's trying to figure that out, the chieftain, as a hell villain, shows up and decides to start, wreaking his vengeance upon them. And during that fight where, you know like, everyone is just such, oh god, like, it's like taking place like partially on a mountain, so people are falling down off of it, like things are at a really really big height, and so I'm afraid for Fang and everything, because I don't know how well she's going to do in these kinds of places, that billy goats go and stuff like that. And like, and Spear jumps on the guy and knocks him off the mountain, and they go down together, and Spear takes a ton of burn damage. Like, he gets charred. badly, not coming back from that, it looks like, basically. And so like he in the midst of trying to figure out who he's going to become, he kind of gets that question taken away from him because it looks like he has reached
Yeah.
the end of his life. He managed to I don't know, the chieftain thinks that he's taken revenge, and so he gets
To an
taken
extent,
by
he did.
he did. But clearly his revenge was only meant for Spear. He otherwise he would have kept fighting until Fang was dead too. But essentially, like, he thinks he got what he wants. The devil takes him back down to hell, and he's no longer a threat. And now you've got Spear, who is basically kind of a like he's if he's going to live, he's going to need to be taken care of for the rest of his life. He's got like we're
Which
we're talking like fourth
I,
degree burns all over his face and body. He is not long for this world, it seems.
yeah, and frankly, I think death is better because like living your life like that is just much worse. Like you're gonna be in constant pain.
Yeah.
Like you really want that to be your life.
Yeah.
Like I think death was just the better option. And then Spear is pretty upset about it, and it's hard to accept. And then we get the scene that pretty much made people love or hate this episode.
And I mean, like I want to preface that with the fact that you see Fang and her dinos, like you hear a primal roar from Fang, and it's like, oh, he's dead or he's dying, and she like leaves the dwelling
Which
very clearly
which
upset.
Yeah, which I'll also talk about. But let's just finish. Let's talk about this first.
Okay.
So we'll talk about Spear like Fang leaving, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, it's a weird scene on its own, but it's like I get the thematic like message behind it.
Okay. Please enlighten me because I'm dumb.
Well, it's simple. Spear is dying. He doesn't have much time to live, and Mira and Spear clearly wanted a family. They wanted to be together. They wanted to continue his legacy, and he's not gonna last forever now because he had to sacrifice his life for his friends and family.
Right.
So, they decide to have sex because they realize they want to continue his legacy and his stories and his family by doing it before it's too late. So like I get the idea behind it.
And I mean, like it's not like Mira hadn't seen the drawings that Spear had made of his story up to that point, and had basically seen that he was very clearly wondering who he was going to be next. He was very worried about legacy. And like, I mean, in retrospect, I wasn't surprised at what happened, but in the moment, I was like, oh, this is happening. Okay, yeah, I think I see what's going on here. And um, I don't know. Maybe you can clear the air on this because I haven't researched it, but obviously, the ending happens. All right, and the implication is that that Spear is no more. He's dead. My thing is
Yeah.
like that's an implication. It's not proof. I haven't seen a body, I haven't seen a burial, and I have watched way too much Marvel to basically kind of accept that at face value. But maybe you know something I don't. Has Gendy Tartakovsky, because I'll take word of God at this point, like, has he said that, like, no, Spear is dead? Like, has he come out and clarified that?
So I it's not confirmed, but
Okay.
I'm just gonna say he's dead because like again, like I said, just living your life like that for the rest of your life, it just fucking suck. Like, sorry, I shouldn't swear like that. It would freaking suck. And
You can always use
like,
shocking. That's what I use instead of the
shock
F bomb.
was shocking,
Yeah.
shocking. And it cannot be easy. You know, like I wouldn't want to live that life, and I don't think anyone should live that life, frankly. So, and it's also just the way how it's implicated, like you said. Um, like obviously the way it's told and the way it's shown, it seems like Spear's dead. It
Yeah.
seems like he ain't coming back.
Yeah, and again, like they did everything to make that implication. I understand completely. And it's hard, I will admit, it's very hard for me to understand that if Spear were still alive, how he would really factor into the narrative anymore, because it looks like going forward, the main characters are now going to be Spears and Mira's
Yeah, like
daughter.
y- yeah,
And it looks like the two dino children are all grown up, and you know, so like, and again, like I get why this was controversial. I get why people were either like, oh hell yeah, this is awesome, or oh hell no, I'm done. You know, like I see where the split occurs, and it's again like right up until the very end, I was just wondering where's the controversy, and then boom, there it is. And
yeah.
I don't know, like, I mean, what's where do you fall? Like, are you down for this? Are you upset about this? Are you able to continue watching? Are you going to swear the show off forever? I'm really curious.
So so now after understanding what that word meant, like what the certain philia meant
Mm-hmm.
and everything, I do think it is a little disgusting. It is a little creepy, but I can get behind it because of what it is meant to mean for these characters, and I don't think it's purposely trying to tell that. I don't think it was purposely trying to have that certain philia in the show. If it was like, if it really was, and Spear did die, and she just had sex with Spear dead. But no, I would stop. I would stop. I would never want to watch the
That
show again.
would, like,
I
no,
don't think.
I 100% agree with you there. Like, I'm like, no, I do not want to endorse that. Um, and again, I don't think that's what happened, but I also think that a lot of people are, they're feeling uncomfortable with it is justified. Like, I get that, like, why they would be uncomfortable with that particular scenario. It's just that, like, again, when you consider the time and the world in which these characters live, it's like, you have to take a lot of those
You gotta,
factors into account, and then you've also got to realize that, like, there may be certain luxuries that they may not be able to afford if they want to continue to honor someone, or yeah, I don't
yeah.
know. So
And also, I wouldn't even call it the certain R word. I wouldn't call it that because, like, you could tell Spear wanted to as well. They both wanted to,
right,
so
yeah,
it
no, and
wasn't.
I think that's pretty well established. Like, after she got recaptured, he crossed the sea with his dinosaur to find and rescue her. Like, yeah, no, I think it's okay. Second, can you still hear me? Of course.
Oh, what's wrong?
Sorry, it looks like we had a brief we had a brief internet outage on my end. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay, all right. Um, I, I it just does this sometimes, and it's really frustrating. But when it happens, we just kind of got to go on. Where did I cut off?
Uh, I don't. No, actually, like I haven't been watching the stream. Um,
Okay,
you want me to
well,
check real quickly?
you know what? We can just retread some of what we had already said. But I mean,
All
again,
right.
I think people who are uncomfortable with that scene, I don't think I don't think their discomfort is unjustified. Like
Oh yeah,
I
no, I
understand.
totally get it.
I understand being uncomfortable with that kind of a scenario. Um, I have seen, maybe not seen that kind of scenario before, but I have certainly heard of woman characters in other media like talking about doing that to someone with whom they ended up later bearing their child because they knew that the man was dying, basically, you know. So it wasn't exactly new to me, but it was, you know, it's also not it's not common, you know.
Yeah,
So
it's gross, but it's like you get the idea behind it.
yeah, yeah, you know, I mean, sometimes what's necessary isn't always neat, you know. um but again, like you're like are you like, are you eager for season 3? Are you like no on season 3? What's your deal?
So I'm I'm interested in a season three. I'm interested. Um, I know friends on Twitter have been somewhat split. Like some are pretty excited, some are interested, some are just done because of you know what,
Mhm.
and some are cautiously optimistic. And I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty interested to see where this is gonna go. I really don't know if they're gonna do another story arc or if it's just gonna do another anthology series like season one. And we really have to see. As of right now, I know some episodes have already been finished. The news article you sent on Discord.
Mhm.
So um, and I'm very excited to see it next year. Like three, like there's like oh, what are they like four paleo stuff coming out next year. I'm pretty excited for those. There's just another one to add.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that, and overall, I am excited, but it's like I'm hoping that they're not gonna just not do any more prehistoric stuff anymore because like they're not on Spears location anymore. Like they're far away from where they were.
Yeah,
So I'm
they're in
hoping
Mira's
like
village now. So yeah.
yeah, so I'm hoping like they think that they don't have to like go back to Spears' place, but I'm hoping they don't just like forget about the prehistoric creatures and just make it about other stuff. Like I'm fine with other like time period locations and ideas. That's cool. I just don't want them to just forget about dinosaurs and prehistoric creatures in general. Like it
I
doesn't even
gotcha.
necessarily be dinosaurs. Like just like yeah, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I'm, you know, it's interesting cuz I'm of two minds about this. On the one hand, I like the idea of a Spear and Mira daughter kind of carrying on her father's legacy and being like a badass, you know, I don't know, demon slayer fighter person, you know. I'll be interested to see what they do with her. On the other hand, I've had 2 seasons to really get used to Spear and Fang. And so the kind of main cast shifting to the daughter is, I mean, it'll be jarring. It will be jarring, and I can understand people wanting to not have to deal with that either, you know, and so they might quit the show for that reason. But I mean, the show is called Primal. The show is not called Spear and Fang. So, like,
Yeah.
there really is, to me at least, there's no reason that the show couldn't do this. And so I'm at least like, again, I've so very much enjoyed Gendy Tartakovsky's storytelling with these characters, with this world, that I'm really eager to see what he's going to do with this new character in this world. How are things going to go differently for her? What, you know, what can we expect? Are we going to keep to the same themes? I mean, let's not deny there have been some pretty strong horror elements in this series, which is one of the reasons that I was watching this show this month is because, October, let's get the scares in. Um,
Spook month.
yeah. And I'm really eager to see more of that in the future, and hopefully that will be the case. Um, and I again, maybe this is me being stubborn, maybe this is me, wishful thinking, but until I see Spear's grave, or until I hear it from Gendy Tartakovsky's mouth that Spear is dead and we will not see him in mortal form anymore, I just am like, I don't know. They've implied things this before to mislead me, and so I don't even necessarily know what I'm saying here, though, because you make a really good point, and I've considered that as well. Like, if he's still alive, like, what kind of shape is he in? Has he got a life worth living? What is he gonna do? So there's a big case for him being dead. I just am, I've been burned too many times by Marvel and other properties where it's like, aha, we made you think this person is dead, but surprise, he's alive, and it's like, great, So I don't
Yeah,
know.
but honestly, just the way it looks, he's dead. He's dead. I'm sorry. I don't
I mean,
know why
again,
they would. I
yeah.
get it, but dude, like, come on. Clearly, he's dead. Like, I know what you're thinking, but how is anyone gonna survive that?
Okay, all right. Let's just not deny that Spear is one tough son of a wench, okay? Let's not
Fair
deny
enough.
that. He's like Daredevil back in the Stone Ages, okay? He can take an unbelievable amount of punishment and still keep going. So, again, I'm not even saying that I want him to come back. I'm just saying that at this point, and again, maybe this is me just wanting to hold on to the fact that maybe he's not dead, but like until I see a body or word from God, I'm just like, I'm gonna just hold off on saying that he's dead. So, but
Yeah.
I understand completely where you're coming from too, and I respect your position. I just, I've I've
You need
seen
more information
I've seen so much media
until.
that has pulled this before. So yeah, but that's just me. So, um, so yeah, I did send you an article over on Discord probably about a month ago at this point, and it was basically an article saying that season 3 of Primal is, it's scheduled to take place sometime next year in 2025. And so, after finishing this up, I'm like, yay, I'm caught up. And now when I watch, it'll be like, when the episode first drops and everything. And so that's kind of exciting because I'm doing that with other content right now. I'm doing that with Agatha All Along on Disney Plus. I'm doing that with Tulsa King over on Paramount Plus. And I really kind of like being able to watch something as it's premiering and then being all like, oh man, this is great. And a lot of people have been dropping in and checking it out too. um I dare say that that's kind of what's gotten the channel to the point where I'm now actually monetized. But but uh
Sweet.
it's also to the point, like, a lot of people will drop in. They will, I think what they do is they expect that I'm gonna like show the entire episode or something, and like I can't do that. Especially on a live stream, that's extremely problematic.
Yeah.
But the idea is that like I'm watching these things and then I'm reacting to them on camera, kind of like I'm doing now, but only I'm just watching something, and I usually don't have a guest when I'm watching something. But like, I've had some people react negatively to that too. They're like, hey, this is a waste of my time. Why aren't you putting the episode on? And I'm like,
Copyright.
I'm not going to explain copyright to you, you know. But you know, the idea is that when I do those recordings, the intent is to eventually start using those to make reaction content, which I think after this month I'll probably be able to do because I'm going to start cutting back on the number of days where I do watch along content, and that'll give me more time to do editing and stuff. But but yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy doing it, and you know, I'm just really happy that people have started showing up, and especially people who show up for the live streams and start commenting in the chat. That's really awesome because it usually kind of builds a synergy that I get. Like when I'm watching Agatha all along, I've got one or two people that will show up all the time and comment all the time. And then, you know, Mesozoic, you tend to show up for like this and for Spider-Man when I'm doing it. And you know, that's always awesome
Yeah.
because it's nice to have feedback to kind of bounce off of, you know, especially during the kind of post-mortem. Once I finish the episode, I'll go back over the chat and just be like, yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was fun, you know. Um, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I suppose this is a good time to talk about what's going to come next on Fridays at this point. So, as you guys know, I do watch along content, and currently I've got like 4 different shows, and then I do like a movie on Saturdays. And right now, the plan is that the plan is at this point in November to start pulling back. Um, I'm gonna finish Agatha all along on Wednesday, and so I'll do the discussion episode the week after in November. But I think after that, unless something really good drops on Wednesdays, I'm probably going to cut Wednesday out of my watch along repertoire. Tuesdays, I've considered cutting out Tuesdays, but I also kind of want to really continue watching The Boys, which is again violent, but it's pretty good too. Um, Friday is a little complicated though. Um, you would probably think, Mesozoic, that I'm probably going to watch season 4 of Spider-Man, because you know that's kind of how I've done it. I watch a season, I take a break and watch another show, and then we start the next season, right?
Yeah.
What do you think could possibly keep me from doing that?
A new show.
What kind of new show?
Another Spider-Man show?
Yes. Um, and at this point, because again, Disney has not officially dropped a release date for it, but at least according to the best information that anyone is capable of finding right now, Your
Oh
Friendly
wait.
Neighborhood Spider-Man should be dropping sometime around November 2nd or 3rd.
Um
And go ahead.
so it's I got news reportedly it's being delayed to 2025.
Oh God, no, no, no. Don't tell me
I'm so
this.
yeah, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, oh God, now I need to go to Google. No, 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 no.
I'm so sorry, Spidey.
I mean,
So sorry.
they haven't dropped the release date yet, so I guess I can't be too surprised. But no, Disney,
I'm
come
so
on!
sorry.
I own a share of Disney stock. You can't do this to me, you wenches. All right. Oh God.
Hey, well, I guess we'll look at season 4 this November, huh?
I maybe. I see. Here's the other thing. I might need to cut that one out simply so I can have more time to make reaction videos, though.
Fair.
I don't know that that's going to happen. I'm not saying that it will. I'm just saying that that's a consideration. All right. A new report claims that it's been delayed until 2025 per the Cosmic Circus via X. The post containing this bit of news profess that the Cosmic Circus's sources have informed The cosmic circus of a delay for the Marvel animated series Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man until 2025. Sorry, Spidey fans. I want to flip the bird at that. Um,
I'm
it
so
it
sorry.
further avowed the Cosmic Circus is waiting for more information on the show, such as more specifics on when it will finally be released. Yeah. See, this is and this is one of the things that has really frustrated me about Disney because they kept saying over and over, it will get released in 2024. It will get released in 2024. It will get released in 2024. And then like it, at the end of September, I was like, okay, guys, you've got like 25% of the year left and you haven't done an announcement. You need to do an announcement. And they haven't. And now this and
Kind of makes sense.
yeah, and and so I guess I can't be too surprised. And again, I am skeptical of any source that isn't Disney at this point, but
Yeah.
I'm not entirely surprised to see stuff like this. But we've been waiting for 3 years, Disney. Come on, give us this. I'm just gonna say, give us this goddamn show,
It's
bastards.
coming. It's coming. It's coming. Just give it some time.
I've already given it plenty of time. I have been very
Well, you know what?
patient.
You know what? I've waited for 3 years for a Godzilla vs Kong movie back in like 20. Like I waited 2 years for the Godzilla vs Kong movie back in 2019. If I can wait for a couple of years, you can too. You wait one more year.
No, I already waited 3. I'm just saying, okay? No,
You gotta be strong. You gotta
I,
be strong. Is all I'm saying.
I will be strong, but I'm still gonna wench about it though. Like you don't
I'm sure.
understand.
I'm
You
sure
don't
it'll be like
understand
early
like
2025.
how much like they've said repeatedly. No, no, no. We will release it in 2024. That and it's like you mother shockers. Um,
I'm
but
sure
yeah,
it'll be like early 2025. I'm sure
mm,
early.
better be.
It's gonna
So,
come. It's gonna come. I know it will.
oh
But
man.
so you will probably be taking breaks from Friday night so you can watch some other reaction stuff.
Well, it's not to watch reaction stuff. It's because that's what the watch alongs are. It's to make
Yeah.
reaction stuff. So like I'll probably get on DaVinci Resolve and start taking stream episodes and downloading them and then getting episodes of the show and then just editing them into like those highlight reels that you see so many reactors doing these days. That's the kind
Oh
of thing that I
yeah.
want to do. And that's it's one of the reasons, it's not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons that I do these watch along streams. And as far as I can tell, I'm one of the only people that actually records the watch along stream and then like makes it available immediately for people to see. And I guess that pisses some people off. Sorry,
Hmm.
not sorry. But like I'm very clear. It says watch along on the thumbnail, the title, and the description. So it's not like I'm being um deceptive or anything, but
Yeah.
people don't like to read apparently. So um but I mean, yeah, like that's the plan, is to make more reaction content. So I've got all of the streams. I can start making reaction content for like Tulsa King and Primal at this point, and Spider-Man and X-Men 97 and a bunch of Star Wars shows now, So like
Yeah.
I've got the ability to do all that. I just need the time. And unfortunately, what that means, it's going to take time away from like doing the watch alongs so that I can actually start making the edits. And that's and the first ones that I do are going to take a while because I'm going to be new at this and not having done it for a while. So it'll be a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the plan, and hopefully that'll be content that's more evergreen and a little bit better received and stuff like that. So, but
Yeah.
but yeah, one thing that I'm also gonna do. Again, Fridays. If I continue doing Fridays, then we'll do Spider-Man season 4. Um, and what? That's a 5 season show, right?
Yeah.
That's so if we end up doing season 4 of Spider-Man, unless we can come up with another show for me to watch in between, we might just go straight into season 5, so that way I can get the whole show in the can, and then like I don't know, um, maybe cut Fridays out once I've done that or something. We'll see.
And maybe
Um,
like I don't know, maybe get to like Spectacular Spider-Man at some point, maybe.
I want to do I want to do all the Spider-Man cartoons. That is going to happen. And I will tell you this, and I think I said this on a community post, but when your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man drops, everything is going to change. Like my priorities are going
Fair.
to shift immediately. I will be watching that show on the day that it drops, and if it's like if it's an episode per week, and say it's like on a Friday or a Saturday, the Saturday movie will have to be moved or something
That's
like that.
fair.
But like I'm gonna day one that, and then as soon as I'm done, any editing that I'm doing for any other shows for reactions is gonna stop. It's gonna be suspended, because as soon as I'm done watching that, I'm gonna try to make a reaction video and get it out there. Like this will be my first like current run Spider-Man media, and I'm just going to be like, no, 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 I'm getting this out as soon as possible. Like I can already feel that dial. It's going to happen. I'm going to be like, okay, we're watching this day one, and if they drop like the entire season, like because some shows do that, um, I will probably take like a day or two to like binge the show, and again, we'll do streams, okay, and then after that, I'm gonna do like at least an episode a week or something, just get it pumped out there. But yeah, once your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man drops, like I reserve the right to suspend pretty much everything else if it comes to that,
Yeah, that's fair.
So
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah.
I'll probably watch it with you, but it's like honestly, I'm not really looking forward to that as much anymore after the whole like possible opening sequence of it being revealed. I was just like, no,
Uh,
no, this is stupid. No.
I haven't watched it, and I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I here's the thing. Here's the thing. I imagine there are probably some differences that don't sit well with you. I get it, but just remember, this is multiverse Spider-Man. You know.
I know, but like when you have a like again without spoilers, without like without a specific with the specific character like specific thing happening, it's not sitting well with me. But I'm willing to give it a chance, even if I'm not exactly fully on board as I
So
was.
I
At,
think I know what you're talking about, and here's what I'm going to say about it. Um, do you like the Venom movies?
oh, I love some shows. Okay, I love the second one.
Okay. So I watched Venom: The Last Dance last night, by the way, and
Oh,
honestly,
how was it?
I think it's the best one out of the series. But
Oh, really?
before you take that to the bank, listen to my hangups, though. Okay, see, here's the thing: I'm always going to have an issue with the Tom Hardy Venom movies because, in my view, you cannot do a proper Venom story without including Spider-Man as a direct part of his origin. You know, part of the reason Venom is created is because he hates Spider-Man. And that makes the basis for a very compelling origin story and some of the best like tension building stories that you get from that era of Spider-Man. And so Venom the movie on its own, like I'm always going to have that issue with it. But with that said, I've also said that like if they had just made this some kind of a generic, sci-fi superhero thing about a symbiote bonding to a guy. Like, I loved all the action sequences. I thought the humor was good. I think Tom Hardy is a he's a pretty good Eddie Brock. Um, I didn't really have any issues with it by itself, but knowing what I know about the character, I was like, you can't do that. Now, the second movie kind of redeemed it somewhat because it carried the implication that the symbiotes can not only transcend time and space, but they can also transcend realities. And so, like, when they're pulled into the MCU at the end of the second movie and the symbiote expresses familiarity with Peter when they see Tom Holland on the screen, I was like, okay, all right, I kind of get it. So it somewhat redeems the Venom franchise by going, this is multiverse Venom, essentially, And so the like
Yeah,
so like I kind of am like, okay, all right, I can let that go now that we know about the multiverse and everything, and now that we've had like Spider-Man No Way Home happen to give us a real demonstration of how multiverses work. So it's kind of with that in mind that, like, I know that like Spider-Man's origin in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is differentiated somehow, and I'm willing to just go, all right, multiverse Spider-Man, let's see what happens. Um, I don't know. Does that make sense?
I see what you're saying, and I'm willing to give it a chance.
Yeah.
But I do think this is a good stopping point. I am getting a little tired. If that's okay with you.
I'm keeping you up. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I am excited for the FNAF movie stream for tomorrow. I definitely
That's
want to be there
tomorrow.
for that.
Yes. Oh, and before we go, I do want to take an opportunity to let people know that I am working. I mentioned that the channel has gotten monetized. I actually am working on a video that will announce memberships in the near future. So hopefully I'll get that done really soon. But I'm really excited about that. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully it'll it'll get uploaded in the near future, like maybe this weekend, I don't know. So but yeah, FNAF is happening tomorrow night, Five Nights at Freddy's. I have never seen this movie. I have, excuse me. I have played the first game. I think I got to like the third night, maybe the fourth night. I don't remember. And that game was responsible for me not sleeping much that Halloween night, by the way. And then I've watched a lot of Matt Pat on Five Nights at Freddy's Theory, and so I'm somewhat conversant on some of the lore, but
Oh,
I'm mostly going into this like with I would say that going into this with a noob's perspective is not inaccurate for me.
so so as a like I don't mean this in a harsh way, but as a noob, you're probably going to be confused by a lot of stuff, and they're not going to fully explain it because it is a movie
Right.
made more for the fans.
Right.
But if you can just ignore that and just have fun with it, you'll have a good time.
I mean, like,
It's funny. It's funny because it's actually the movie's anniversary tonight.
is it? Oh, nice. I didn't know that. So tomorrow
And we actually
I will be watching it on its almost anniversary.
Yeah, and we actually did get the teaser trailer, not teaser trailer, but like a little teaser poster for the second movie, and the second movie does
Oh,
start filming in a couple of days.
okay. All right. Well, cool. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it because I know again a lot of my younger viewers have been like, you need to watch this, and I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen it. Let's watch it. So we're gonna do that. But yeah, Mesozoic, thanks again for coming in and doing this discussion with me. I really do appreciate it. And again, I really did enjoy this season of Primal. It definitely, like, I understand where the controversies came in, and but I'm not going to deny that I'm eager for season 3. But I really appreciate you coming on and discussing this with me and just kind of being part of the stream. So
Yeah, yeah, it was great. I'm very excited for season 3. I'm excited for next year. Next year is going to be like just so much dinosaur stuff for me, and I'm very excited for it overall. And I cannot wait to see where they're gonna go with these characters and stories. But that's all I gotta say. I'm probably gonna be going to bed soon. Maybe I'll play some video games and then probably hit the bed.
okay.
But yeah, I'm very happy to join you. Hopefully, we'll do another stream in the future again together. Maybe we can do something about -1 in the future, but we'll see.
I mean, like that we'll need to talk about that later, but I've considered
Yeah,
the
later.
possibility of doing like discussion streams with movies that I've watched on the channel. um I don't know, I'll need to put some more brain power into thinking how we'd lay that out, but it's a possibility. So
Yeah, yeah.
all right, well, cool. Well,
All right.
thanks again. Head on, I'll see you around, and yeah, take care, my friend.
Yep.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and close us off for tonight. So thanks to everyone who came by to watch. Thanks again to Mesozoic Mind for showing up and being part of the stream and the discussion. And at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and say goodnight. So thanks again for being here, everyone. Take care. This is Spidey Librarian. And until my next stream or upload, I'll be wishing you a good day. Bye.